And our guest, an economist, Ruth Kenyanjui, is here in the hot seat this morning. Ruth, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
The proverb, when you befriend a chief, remember, he sits on a rope.
Okay, so I forgot to tell you, and I'm going to throw you into the deep end, that usually with the proverb, what we ask you to do after you've heard that, because you're looking at me like, yeah. So what we ask you to do is tell us what you think about that proverb and how you would interpret it. So, have fun.
You're responding to that.
Yes.
I think I'll take it from an economic perspective.
Okay.
Because recently, after what happened, Maandamano, we saw the president push out his CSS. And those ones who are on the rope did not come back, clearly.
Okay. Finance Act 2023. We're looking at this coming back in the window. First of all, can we just go through what it meant again when the president declined to assent to it? It could have been pressure. It could have been, okay, this is not going to work. Yep. But at the point where he said, fine, we're not going to do this. Let's go back to the drawing board. What did that mean for the country?
I'll give a bit of background and why we are here and why the courts were pushing us to the Finance Bill 2022 and what it means for the current political space and what it means to the common Kenyan in terms of how things are. First, it doesn't look really good for the current government that Finance Bill 2023, which was the first one for the current government to be thrown out of court. Why do I say that? Because we see a lot of flawed processes and procedure in terms of the grounds that were making the Finance Bill 2023 be thrown out, which was really unfortunate because it means that after the Finance Bill 2024, people were more critical to go back to understand some of the issues that were also in the previous bill that were laying the foundation for the current government. And what were the main issues actually in the Finance Bill 2023? The first thing, which actually are things that should have been foreseen from a technical perspective or from a technical space of the people who normally work on the budgeting process. One, why is the income? Why were there no estimate of income? Because that was one of the main ground then. The second thing that was also happening is something that is normally taken very for granted in this country, which is public participation in terms of involving the public. And actually, public participation in most of the issues or even in the law enactment, and you all can bear me witness, has always been done ceremoniously. But you see, it is now the public participation that was ignored in the Finance Bill 2023 is the one that has come to bite the Finance Bill 2024. Why? Because by the time people are going for Maandamano, they are saying we were not involved. Do you know, from a political space, it was showing a disconnect between now the political class and the ground. And that is what they normally want to focus on. When it happens like that, then we go back to the manifesto of the current government. What did they promise Kenyans that they are going to do?
Are we saying that, and so just to make it clear, that what the court essentially has overturned is the case which saw the Finance Act 2023 now unconstitutional and said, we got to get rid of this. The Supreme Court now has come back to say, actually, you know what? We are vacating that order. The Finance Act then 2023 can come back into play. We are not talking about what happened from June 25th, 2024. We're talking about what happened last year, just for purposes of clarification. But what I hear you to say, Ruth, is that there is a connection between the two. Whether you want to say that it's 1 year to the next, I'd like you to explain a little bit further what that connection then really is.
Thank you. It's a foundation. The government was laying a foundation of what they are going to be building on in their term in the 5 years term. And during the Finance Bill 2023 is when we were actually seeing the current government now laying a foundation of what they were going to build on from an income perspective, from an expenditure perspective, in terms of this, whatever they are going to put in place, or maybe that is going to speak to their manifesto for the next 5 years. If you look at the Finance Bill 2023, there were many contentious issues, but 3 were in the limelight, or the main issue. First, the housing levy. Housing levy went to the courts and was there for like more than 10 months before that was decided. The second big item that was there was people like maybe people who are in this room, people who are earning more than 500,000 and their income band was going more than corporate taxes at 35%. Yeah, you people are rich. Yeah, the other contentious issue. The reason why I'm saying you're rich, because no one went to talk about anything about the tax band that was very high at 35%. No one, because why? Because the people like you and other people in corporate don't want to speak much. They want to be diplomatic.
The platform that we
want to be nice.
The platform that we have to discuss these matters is this microphone, which we used extensively.
Gen Z came to your rescue, guys.
In 2023, the conversation during the finance bill was very robust from this microphone.
Ruth, I had you on a set and we discussed this 2023 finance bill before Azimio Coalition led a whole.
I'm actually listening to what she's saying. She's not pinpointing people who do what we do.
Oh, Kenyans.
Yes,
yeah, people like us.
There's a certain income bracket that certain people belong to. And she is saying they were not loud enough.
They won't even.
They didn't even
now, they will not.
Okay.
Why do I say that? Because even when Gen Zs were demonstrating, I can be sure that all of us were in the office working. Why? And that is why you saw even the stabilization of actually the forex. The shilling did not stammer.
Do anything.
It was that actually it even went down from 130 to around 129. Why? Because Gen Zs were on the street, you and I were working, So the other third item that actually was also in the Finance Bill 2023 was the 16% VAT on fuel. Why the same class of people then, again, did not complain. Even when there was a reverse or there was a court annulment of the finance
bill. Actually, we complained.
We did complain.
Allow me to explain.
Middle class?
We actually bought less fuel.
Yeah,
that was our complaint. Our expenditure when it came to fuel, we no longer had full tanks. So, and if you look at the data relating to fuel consumption during that era, it did go down.
Yeah.
So, if the government had hoped to raise more money through it, that didn't happen. Because people were buying less fuel, they were consuming less fuel. Because now that in itself was a protest, and it was an unspoken word that this is not something we are going to accommodate. Please continue.
Yeah, good. I like that. So what I'm trying to say that the fact that there were already those many contentious issues in Finance Bill 2023, then it comes to the advisory bit, because there has to be an advisory aspect when it comes to the executive. Then who is advising the president to tell him this is what the ground is saying? Or do we all want to be appeasers, to massage, here and there, you know what I mean? So what are those people who are supposed to be saying the truth saying? Because the truth has to prevail. Because if the truth had prevailed last year in the Finance Bill 2023, we would not have had issues. Actually, the housing levy should not have been allowed to go through the court process. It should have been allowed to be investigated, and the ground or the public participation to be processed to go through.
Right.
Then we wouldn't be seen, because it was seen by going to the court, it was seen the government is fighting the common man.